Alton Towers have everyone excited this year as they're currently building a brand new reimagined version of Nemesis as it becomes reborn. Now that ride is going to open in 2024 and it's going to bring a lot of life to the area of Forbidden Valley. That'll be bringing life to one side of the area. But what about the other side over at Galactica? Previously being known as Air, it has seen its fair share of questionable additions over the years. I mean, in general, who on earth thought VR was a good idea? And this year, there is genuinely a lack of additions because, oh my god, that thing is looking tired and worn out. So with a brand new themed experience ride opening right next to it, next year, will Galactica itself be completely overhauled soon? I think it needs it. And of course, if you do go on to enjoy this video and you want to see more just like this, then please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. So I feel like with this video, we need to start at the recent history of the ride and sort of talk about where these rumours have developed before we get into the nitty-gritty stuff of, you know, oh, an RMC is going to replace it. Pretty much the ride opened in 2002. I'm pretty sure you all know that. It operated as Air until 2016 where it became Galactica and had VR added, which was extremely controversial. And I mean extremely. It changed to that new space theme and had a very cool portal added to it. Oh, look at it go. And from that year onwards, there was a lot of feedback regarding the VR and how it was ruining the ride experience. So eventually it went from all of the rows to just the back three. And then soon after it changed to no rows. It wasn't on any of the rows on any of the trains. Beautiful stuff. And yes, the removal of VR was a very good thing to happen. In recent years, there seems to have not been a lot of attention on the ride itself because recently it's not been having the best times. The operations haven't been the best and one train was literally in pieces for months on end. Can you imagine walking into the Galactica station like, oh, let me ride this ride. When's the next train coming in? It comes in, it's just got no seats on it because it's just a bunch of repair work happening. And let me just sit on the top of the track. Not only that, but the theming, station and queue line of this ride has not been very well upkept, and the shop on the exit has been closed for God knows how long. The track and the areas beneath the ride look really dirty, and you know, there's just so much little inconveniences that point towards this refurb happening. Surely it's due one soon, right? Well, this is where our good pal Nemesis comes in handy, because Alton Towers are probably going to look at it and say, well, we have this brand new roller coaster that looks extremely nice, pristine colours and rather veiny, that's opening right underneath and next to it. You're going to see that when it opens and realise that it completely outshows Galactica in every single aspect. I mean, if you want to feel better about yourself, Galactica, you can look over at Funk and Fly because, oh my god, does it outshow that massively. But yeah, if Galactica stays as it is and it just continues to look as run down as it does, when you compare it to Nemesis right next to it that's brand new and it's looking amazing, it's going to be not so good for the park, I think. So, what is likely to happen and what can we speculate about within the ride's future and the potential occurrences in the forthcoming years of time? Now, contrary to popular belief, it actually isn't going to be an RMC that's going to go in and replace it, or maybe it will. But there's actually quite a few different things we can discuss, and they're all of varying degrees of removalness. You first of all got the Way of Merlin, as I want to call it, which is pretty much leaving it to become really worn down and on the verge of dying out, and then they only give it a jet wash. Or you have the Way of Duel, which is where the ride is left to become a ride of the past until it endeavours into a brand new re-theme. Or another of the potential happenings is that it just gets flattened. There's also the fact it could get retracked, but I'll get onto that later. I'm going to go really in depth on these things though, you know. Why could they happen? Which is the most likely to happen? And of course, why isn't it changing to Galactica Reborn? Well, the first of many, as I said, was leaving it to rot and basically just jet washing it and calling it a day. And they actually did jet wash it quite recently, but I genuinely cannot tell the difference between before and after. Maybe I'm blind. But you know, what I said about that is mostly a joke. I don't think that's going to happen. Although you never know, it might stay forever. It might come round to 2075 and Nemesis is on its 5th retracking process and Galactica still doesn't have a shot. It's plausible, you know. The second of the options was, of course, leaving it to become like unloved and uncared for. So at some point, a complete overhaul of the theme could take place. Much like at the start of last year where we realised that Duel was looking very run down and they weren't really caring for it. All the floors were dirty, there was loads of effects broken, the guns didn't work and stuff like that. And then look what it became. What a development that was. Could the same thing happen to Galactica? I mean, literally, as I said earlier, the queue line and station area are just in a dire state. There's TV screens that are supposed to be on and they're just completely off along with projections. Eve is gone. Actually, that's quite a good thing. Eve is gone. I'm upset. My day's ruined. But all these noticeable things when you've got the likes of Wicker Man and this brand new Nemesis that are going to open their really well-themed experiences. To have a ride that literally has a first tunnel of just concrete and a muddy puddle at the bottom of the lift hill, I feel like something's got to be done, surely. They could literally reopen it next year or the year after with a lick of paint and maybe some extra theming and some added ambient lighting. I'd actually be happy with that. I'll take that. Or if they were to work on it, like I've been saying, the furthest and the most extreme of that would be a brand new re-theme. And there's a lot of people that want this ride to be re-themed to something else. The main one you see is a complete alternate story about Nemesis, which I guess would be cool, but I don't know how they do it. Galactica is now actually the Phalanx aerial unit, not that massive bloody crane. I don't know, you could see some like space related thing to do with the alien and like there's a getaway vehicle, a flying spaceship. Either way, a re-theme would be very epic. Although if a re-theme were to happen, I don't think it's going to happen in one closed season, especially when they're building another massive ride right next to it. Who knows? Or of course, the other thing that could happen is its removal. Now, as I just spoke about with the re-theme aspect, if there was a time scale for a removal happening, again, I don't think that's going to happen in a closed season, especially when there's 2 new coasters on the horizon. It would not be easy for them to remove the entire track and support and the station building and everything like that. Although they did remove Nemesis in what felt like a day, so you never know. And either way, if they removed Galactica, they would have less capacity again in Forbidden Valley, so why would they do that for another year? They know how much Nemesis not being there has made it struggle, so why would they remove another one? Yeah, speak to me after Project Horizon's built and I might agree with you on it getting removed. I think it's going to take a few years. I don't think it's getting removed anytime soon. Me personally, I could see a reworked theme or even just that refurb project, you know, like a repaint of the track. Make it more blue, a nice colour, not covered in bird shit. Just give us some more theming and rework the inside of the station and sort of make it look nicer. I'd be happy with that. But my opinion doesn't matter because more importantly, I have taken to Instagram to ask you guys what you think the future of Galactica holds. Let's see what you said. The Pigeon thinks that Galactica will be removed by 2026. To be fair, he has just told me that. I'd love to see a worthy replacement to it, something like Taron. Oh my god, can you imagine? If they replaced Galactica, I used to love Galactica by the way, when it was air, it was my favourite ride when I was a kid, but if they removed it and replaced it with something like Taron, I would not be sad. I'd just do it now. 2030 retrack and it's 100% renaming to Nemesis 2.5, damn. Where was 1.5? Needs water effects like infusion. You know, there is actually a splashdown on Manta at SeaWorld Orlando. That's really cool. I have no idea where they put them though. Could they put it towards the end of the ride, you know? Although, I guess we wouldn't really see it. You could see it from your car though, down by the bit where you're on your back. I have no idea, but that'd be cool. I think it will go before Spinball, to be honest. It feels more unreliable and slower every time I ride it. Yeah, it's an operational nightmare by the seams of it. I mean, speaking of Spinball, it was literally that and Rita that were both the ones that everyone thought, oh, that's getting removed soon. But suddenly after how they've refurbed, you know, the Rita entrance and they've done the new Spinball ride system, now that they've done nothing to Galactica, it's a very good point of that being removed before either of them. Nothing will change. Fair enough. Maybe nothing will change, you know, but what can change is if that subscribe button is red, you can make it grey. If you press it. Subscribe. Good night.